Short-run profit. In the previous sections, we learned how to calculate marginal cost, total variable cost, and average cost per unit. Now, we will use all these tools to find short-run profit and discover the condition for maximum profit. Let's return to the table we built earlier. We have a printing machine, a wage of 4,000 shekels per worker, and all the data on output, marginal costs, and average costs. Now, we'll add a new piece of information, the market price per unit of product. Let's assume the market price is 50 shekels per unit. In perfect competition, the market price is given, just like the wage. The producer cannot influence the price. They take the price as it is and need to decide only one thing: how many workers to hire, meaning how much to produce. What is total revenue? Total revenue is simply total output multiplied by the market price per unit. Let's calculate this for each employment level. Worker 1, output 100, revenue is equal to 100 times 50 equals 5,000. Worker 2, output 220, revenue is equal to 220 times 50 equals 11,000. Worker 3, output 360, revenue is equal to 360 times 50 equals 18,000. Worker 4, output 480, revenue is equal to 480 times 50 equals 24,000. Worker 5, output 570, revenue is equal to 570 times 50 equals 28,500. Worker 6, output 640, revenue is equal to 640 times 50 equals 32,000. Worker 7, output 690, revenue is equal to 690 times 50 equals 34,500. Worker 8, output 720, revenue is equal to 720 times 50 equals 36,000. Now, let's build the full table. We also have total variable costs, which is exactly the total variable cost we calculated earlier, number of workers multiplied by 4,000 shekels. What is short-run profit? Short-run profit equals total revenue minus total variable costs. Pay attention to an important point: in the short run, we do not include fixed costs in the calculation. Fixed costs have already been paid and cannot be changed, so they are irrelevant to the decision of how much to produce. What determines the decision is only revenue minus variable costs. Let's calculate profit for each employment level. Worker 1, revenue 5,000 minus variable cost 4,000 equals profit 1,000. Worker 2, revenue 11,000 minus variable cost 8,000 equals profit 3,000. Worker 3, revenue 18,000 minus variable cost 12,000 equals profit 6,000. Worker 4, revenue 24,000 minus variable cost 16,000 equals profit 8,000. Worker 5, revenue 28,500 minus variable cost 20,000 equals profit 8,500. Worker 6, revenue 32,000 minus variable cost 24,000 equals profit 8,000. Worker 7, revenue 34,500 minus variable cost 28,000 equals profit 6,500. Worker 8, revenue 36,000 minus variable cost 32,000 equals profit 4,000. Now, let's look at what happens to profit. Notice the clear pattern: profit steadily rises, 1,000, 3,000, 6,000, 8,000, 8,500, until it reaches a peak of 8,500 shekels at worker number 5. From there, it steadily declines, 8,000, 6,500, 4,000. No jumps, no surprises. Profit rises until the maximum point, then falls. This is a smooth and orderly pattern. So, the maximum short-run profit is 8,500 shekels, achieved when employing 5 workers. But do we have to calculate the entire table to find this point? The answer is no. There is a simple and elegant rule: the condition for maximum profit is that the market price equals the marginal cost per unit. In other words, P equals MC. Let's check this in our example. The market price per unit is 50 shekels. Now, let's look at the marginal cost at each level. Worker 1, MC equals 40. Worker 2, MC equals 33.3. Worker 3, MC equals 28.6. Worker 4, MC equals 33.3. Worker 5, MC equals 44.4. Worker 6, MC equals 57.1. Worker 7, MC equals 80. Worker 8, MC equals 133.3. Look at what happens. At worker 5, the marginal cost is 44.4, still below the price of 50. This means that for every unit worker 5 produces, we receive 50 shekels but pay only 44.4 shekels to produce it. There is a profit of about 5.6 shekels per unit. It's worthwhile to hire this worker. But at worker 6, the marginal cost jumps to 57.1, higher than the price of 50. This means every unit produced by worker 6 costs us 57.1 shekels, but we only receive 50 shekels for it. That's a loss of 7.1 shekels per unit. Therefore, it's not worthwhile to hire worker 6. The maximum point is exactly at the transition, where MC is still less than P, but at the next worker MC is already greater than P. In our case, that's worker 5, where MC is 44.4 and P is 50. This is the closest point to equality between P and MC. Why does this rule work? Let's think about it step by step. As long as the market price is higher than marginal cost, P greater than MC, each additional unit produced adds to profit. Therefore, it's worth continuing production. But once marginal cost exceeds the market price, MC greater than P, each additional unit actually reduces profit. So, production should stop. The optimal stopping point is where P equals MC. In reality, as in our example, there isn't always perfect equality, so we stop at the last point where P is still greater than MC. You can also see this from the profit side. At worker 5, profit is 8,500. What happens when we add worker 6? Revenue increases by 3,500, from 28,500 to 32,000, but costs increase by 4,000, from 20,000 to 24,000. The additional cost is greater than the additional revenue, so profit falls from 8,500 to 8,000. This difference, 3,500 versus 4,000, is directly related to marginal cost. When it costs more to produce the additional units than what we receive for them, profit decreases. What do you need to know how to do? You need to know how to calculate every column in the table. Marginal product, the difference between two consecutive levels of total output. Total variable cost, number of workers times the wage. Marginal cost per unit, wage divided by marginal product. Average cost per unit, total variable cost divided by total output. Total revenue, total output times price. Short-run profit, total revenue minus total variable costs. And finally, how to find the maximum profit point, that is, where P equals MC, or more precisely, the last point where P is still greater than MC. The rule P equals MC is one of the most important rules in economics. It tells us that the producer will continue producing as long as the price they receive is greater than the cost of producing one more unit. The moment the cost of the additional unit equals or exceeds the price, they stop. And that is the point of maximum profit.